My motivation for this WxYz was a spectacular, high-resolution, midday visible satellite image taken a week ago of a snow-covered Pennsylvania. And here's that image. Now, to be clear, at this time last Wednesday, the entire state was snow-covered, but the heavily treed ridges and the forests that dominate the northern part of the state appear darker, while the fields that dominate the valleys simply show off the snow better. Just seems to me that snow cover like this is less common in recent years, which got me wondering about long-term trends in the number of days each winter with snow on the ground. Now, there's no doubt that winters have warmed on average here in the Commonwealth since I was a kid. The trend line on this graph of average winter temperature going back to 1960 shows an increase of about 5 degrees since then. Surrounding states, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and West Virginia are similar. And in fact, for nearly all states east of the Rockies, winter is the fastest warming season. And according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is the gold standard for synthesizing research on the changing climate, most of this warming is attributable to human activity. So what about changes in snow cover? Well, here's a graph of the number of days per winter with at least 1 inch of snow on the ground in State College. Again, I'm defining winter as December through February, so 90 is the maximum. There's plenty of winter-to-winter variability, but the trend line slopes down toward fewer such days in recent decades. What about other locations in the state? Well, I'll use the 1960s and 70s to represent when I was a kid. Here's the average number of winter days with at least 1 inch of snow on the ground during that 20-year period. Pretty much half the winter in State College, more than 60 such days in Somerset and Bradford, less than 20 in the extreme southeast. Now here's the average for the most recent 20 winters. Lower everywhere. The biggest decreases percentage-wise are in Harrisburg and Allentown. Enough of a drop-off to be noticed over the long run pretty much everywhere. If we widen the view to look nationwide, we also see decreases from the 1960s and 1970s to the most recent 20-year period. From a barely noticeable 5% drop in Minneapolis to about a 30% decrease in Colorado Springs and St. Louis to more than 50% in Washington, D.C. The bottom line, if it seems like there are fewer days each winter with snow on the ground now than back in the 1960s and 70s, you're probably right. We know the short-range forecast features more snow melting weather, but what about the extended? Stay tuned. That's next.